Good morning, Pioneers. This is Robin, and this morning I thought I would show a little demo of the 3D Galaxy that we've been working on in the last few weeks. A few people have asked questions about it, and it's kind of, I know it's not complicated, but there's kind of, a lot of moving parts. So this video is intended to explain everything. So let's take a look at it. This code has just hit master about half an hour ago, and so we'll be in the next nightly build, which should appear in, looking at my clock, about 15, 16 hours from now. And obviously we'll be in Alpha 14. So that'll be your chance to try this out if you're not the kind of person who's already compiling Pioneer yourself. So this is the new 3D view, 3D Galaxy view. It looks much like the old one. When we say 3D Galaxy, because there's been a few questions asked about this, people have said, well, wasn't the old one 3D? And the fact was, yes, we drew it in 3D previously, but it was a flat galaxy. The sectors only had two components, an X and a Y, and you could actually see if you rotate the view to be sort of side on, you would actually see that there is only a very small amount of variation vertically between all the stars. The galaxy was pretty flat. This goes in every direction, so just as a very quick demo, you see we can move left and right, up and down, and in and out, and there is stuff everywhere. So there are a lot of stars out there now, even more than before. But to go with that, it required quite a few interface changes to make that happen, because what we had previously simply wasn't powerful enough to convey all the complexities of that. So let's start off by having a bit of a look at what this can do. Now, movement is your first basic function. You move around as before with the arrow keys. So there's left, there's right, up and down, and you use page up and page down to sort of move in and out. And obviously these can be combined with right shift and left shift as before. One of the major differences with movement is that previously movement will always be along the galactic plane, which means if you fully rotated the view around and then you press left or right, it would only take you in that direction. So you would find yourself pressing left and the map appeared to move to the right or vice versa. Now it's actually all movement is aligned to what you currently see on the screen. So if I change the rotation like this, I move left, I get an actual left movement, which means I'm moving along, some angle relative, some non sort of parallel perpendicular angle relative to the galactic plane, which does in a lot of ways make it easier to get lost, but also I think makes it a little more intuitive. So that's basic movement. Rotation is basically the same as before. It's done with a right click and move of the mouse. Or alternatively, you can now use the WASD key cluster to move that way. Ignore my email. And you can always press R to restore the rotation and zoom values to their defaults. Plus and minus will get you zoom in and out along with the mouse wheel, if you have a mouse wheel. Zoom looks a little bit like moving in and out, but it actually changes the field of view. So you get a chance to see exactly what's going on. And again, pressing R will restore that. So that's basic movement and rotation. Now, the targeting system is mostly the same as what was in Alpha 13, but a couple of extra tweaks, and this is a good opportunity to explain a feature that was in Alpha 13 that not many people really knew about because it was basically impossible to discover. So there are three targets that can be set at any particular time. The current system that the current system that the player is in, which is always shown by the blue disc around the star. The selected system, which is basically where you're looking right now in the sector view, the thing that you're interested in, which is always shown by the green circle, and the hyperspace target, which is where you will go if you jump to hyperspace. And I'll get into that in detail in a minute. So, yeah, so the blue system basically stays the same no matter what you do. The only way to move the blue system is to actually hyperspace somewhere. So that's always your point of reference to sort of everything else. And the distance readout down here always shows the sector distance to your current system, as do these distances here. The green circle is the current selection. It always has an arrow that points to Sol. Sol is the origin point. Sol is sector 000 and then position 000 within the sector. So you should always, no matter where you go, you'll always have a rough idea of where Sol is based on that green arrow. You can change a selection by moving around, which will make the selection follow the nearest system in the current sector, which can be a little bit confusing because it's not always what appears to be the closest one. You'll notice that this system, MU CASA PA, I should work on my pronunciation, isn't being selected, and that's because it's actually quite a way off of the current plane that we're looking at. But you can also, as previously, you can also click on any particular system to make it the current selection. And it's the currently selected system that is always used when you change to the system info view. Having the selection always follow the follow movement is not always the most obvious thing. So by pressing enter, you can disable following, and that means the selection will remain locked as you move around. And a click in that case will simply select a new system, but it won't move until you press enter again, and then it will start following your movement. Now the hyperspace target, usually by default, as it says here, it follows the selection. So as you move around, that's changing the hyperspace target, and you can see down here, set hyperspace destination. If you press space, it locks the hyperspace target. And then as the selection changes, the hyperspace target remains the same. Which means you could use this if you accepted a mission to, deliver a package somewhere, go and find the system that you want to jump to, press space, lock the hyperspace target there. You can then go off and look at the rest of the sector view, click on things, do whatever you want to do, and know that when you press hyperspace, you will go to the system that you want. Pressing space will always change the hyperspace target to be the same as the current selection, unless of course the current selection is the same as the hyperspace target, in which case pressing space will unlock it, and then the hyperspace target will start following the selection again. Most of the time you probably don't need to worry about this feature, but it's kind of there if you need it, and I found it useful from time to time. If you have selected a different hyperspace target to the current selection, the hyperspace target will be shown with a grey ring. Up here in the information box, it will always show you the distance from the selected system to the current system, the amount of fuel it requires to take the jump, and the amount of time that the jump will take. As you move away, that text changes yellow. Actually, it changes red if you're too close. If we go over here, that text will change to yellow if the system is in range but you don't have enough fuel, and then it tells you what the required fuel is. Or if you're completely out of range, say way over here, it will turn red to let you know that. This is the same information that used to be provided by the blue information area at the top previously, but now we have 3 systems that we really want to show, and a lot more information. It was just too hard to put it all into that thing, so we moved it. These buttons, let me set a couple of things here. Whoops. These buttons will always take you directly to that particular system, and you can also press C, G, and H to perform the same functions if you like the keys. So let's reset all of that. This information box can be disabled by pressing tab, which means you get to see more of what's going on at any time. I hope that all made sense. The last thing to show you is the search box. Now the search box will search around about 3 sectors in every direction from where your current view is. So it's nothing to do with the selections, it's all based on where your current view is, and that's because we don't keep the entire galaxy in memory, and it would take a very long time to generate the galaxy in order to search it. So we always have about 3 sectors in each direction in memory because it's needed for drawing the page and that sort of thing. So we let you search that. So it can do uh, perfect and partial searches. So if we type in Sol, I'll just turn off a couple of things so you can actually see the text. So we search for Sol and it tells us the exact match Sol. If we search for, say, Eridani, it decided that that was the best match. There's a few little sort of heuristics inside. Basically, if you match multiple things, you're sort of in trouble. You never know quite what you're going to get, so try and be as specific as you can be. But a lot of the time it helps. Like if I just type 82 here, it should take me to, okay, it took me to NN3182 and not to that other one that I saw a moment ago, 82 something or other, 82 Gieri. So yeah, it's a help. You still need to get to the rough area, but if you are looking for a particular system and you have a sector number, you go to that sector, type in the search, you'll probably find what you're looking for. It doesn't do case matching, so it doesn't matter what you type in there. It should give you something useful. And I think that's about everything. Yeah, look at my little list of features here, and I think that's about everything. Oh no, there's one more thing. You'll see that some of the labels here are colored differently. The bright white labels are in your current hyperspace range. So if you click on them, you will get all green up here. The light blue ones are systems in range that are also populated. In previous versions, it used to have a sort of a red disc flashing on the system. Now it's been replaced just by light blue text. So that'll give you an idea of what places are interesting depending on what you're looking to achieve. The duller colors, the dull grey and the dull blue, mean the same thing. Grey is uninhabited, blue is inhabited, but they are out of your current jump range, whether that's because you don't have enough fuel or because your ship can't make it that far. So it should give you a reasonably good, at a glance, what's nearby and where you can make it to. So there's sort of a lot of information there. You'll probably only use particular pieces of it, but we hope that there's enough tools to help you find your way around. We're very interested in feedback. There's a 3D Galaxy thread on the forum at the moment, which is probably how you found this video. So grab the Nightly or grab Alpha 14. Give us lots of feedback on this. We're really excited about it, happy about the way it's turned out. There's a lot of thought and a lot of experimentation has gone into it, and yeah, we're really keen to see what you think, and we think this represents an important sort of step in bringing Pioneer to, I suppose, sort of a finished, polished product. It's still got a long way to go, but this is sort of one of the more finished bits, I'd say now. And that's about it. I'll give a shout to Tom, who obviously made the whole game, but wrote the original implementation of this. Dan, who sort of processed a lot of the star catalogs that went into this, and also hassled us a lot to actually make this thing work. And Brian, who did like heaps of testing, heaps of suggestions, and also massaged a lot of binary stars in a hurry a couple of days ago to fix a couple of glitches we had. So thanks guys, good team effort. And happy pioneering everyone.